So let's talk about the big news that has been going on recently. Obviously, we gotta talk about Israel and Hamas reaching a ceasefire agreement, and that's great. It's great. It goes into effect today. I'm recording this yesterday, but it goes into effect on Sunday. There's going to be a prisoner exchange of the hostages that Hamas are holding and the Palestinian prisoners that Israel is holding, and they're going to exchange them. There's going to be relief. There's going to be soldiers being pulled out of the Gaza Strip, and people are going to be able to move there, even though Gaza's pummeled to the dust right now. But let's talk a bit about what really got us here, at least when it comes to Biden and Trump, because you could go out, read the deal yourself, and this is a time for celebration, but we can't forget what's going to come after this as well and what really got us here. So getting back to that, obviously, this started on October 7th. At least this exchange between Israel and Palestine, there's been many in history. But with this one, it started on October 7th, and it's gone on for 15 months and has really been a showcase of the worst parts of the Biden administration and how they kind of fumbled, well, not kind of, how they, historically fumbled not just this whole situation, but an election because of this. Because this this came out of nowhere, at least to me. Maybe I could be wrong. People who followed this more closely, um, you know, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they saw it coming, but I feel like I keep my eye pretty close to this, but this felt like it came out of nowhere. And I think it's because this was something that could have easily been done. And I think it really goes to show how ineffective Biden was when it came on this certain topic, and how, let's be honest, he really did not push back on Israel at all. He might have said a few mean things every now and again, but when it came to the negotiations and, applying any sort of pressure on Israel, he really didn't do anything. Like, it was a complete fucking shit show from, start to finish when it came to Biden's participation in this. Because all Trump had to do was send one of his members to those negotiations, and they were able to get a ceasefire deal done. There's also a multitude of other factors playing into this. There's a tweet right here. He brought up a good point that he believes that this isn't just Trump coming in and clearing shop. This also has to do with the fact that Netanyahu feels very confident in his position as an Israel politician, which is the case. He was not popular when October 7th happened. He was not. He was very unpopular with the Israeli people, but because of his actions, somewhat, he became more popular. People, there definitely still were the protests in Israel, but that was more over how the hostages were getting saved. If anything, it, they didn't have a problem with Palestinians being murdered. That's the problem. They just didn't like that hostages were also being killed when Palestinians were targets. So, it's not great. But yeah, he's only really rose in popularity in Israel. But I think, I think it's both of these things at play. I think Trump came in and, I'm pretty sure the guy that he brought in has like no background at all in this sort of thing. From what I remember hearing, he's just a real estate developer. But, he sent him in and he got the stuff done. But let's make this a big but here. B-U-T. This isn't the end. Like, this is a ceasefire deal. Done. But let's be honest. I believe people are speculating that once the first phase of this is over, like once Israel has the hostages, they're gonna bomb again. And they already did, by the way. We have an article right here from Al Jazeera. Israeli attacks kill at least 80 in Gaza after ceasefire deal announced. Now, it wasn't announced, it wasn't done. It still grows to be like, hey, we're gonna do a ceasefire deal, and then we're gonna fucking murder some people. I don't have any hope that Israel, history proves this more than anything, that just because there's, a ceasefire agreement with Palestine and Israel doesn't mean that Israel isn't still going to treat them like garbage. And this isn't the end of the occupation either. It's just let's just kind of get things back to normal-ish, and then we're going to bomb you again. This also kind of comes due to the fact that many Palestinians have been murdered. Many cities have been destroyed. It is a terrible time for the Palestinians. But Israel hasn't been that great at murder. Like, they're, at least when it comes to Hamas, they are terrible at killing Hamas. They're great at killing random civilians, apparently. You know, they're apparently great at that. They're apparently great at just murdering innocent children, but not Hamas. Because apparently, at least from Blinken, who's been like a big part in the Biden administration on, you know, relaying what's been going on with, you know, Israel, Hamas, the whole conflict as a whole. Hamas's numbers have not gone down, but Israeli soldiers' numbers have gone down too. So, I mean, that also could just be the case of, like, you know, they constantly just get new recruits, because, like, yeah, when a oppressive force is constantly killing your family, you're going to end up joining the, you know, the force that is opposing that state. So it could just be that, like, for as many people as, like, Hamas loses, they still gain just as much. There's a lot of factors going into this decision. Like, there are people saying that Hamas, you know, that Israel probably would have accepted a ceasefire deal months ago if it wasn't for the fact that it's mostly just Netanyahu just hoping that, like, he really just, from what, you know, I've heard of this, he just wanted to hang on to power as much to kind of like save himself from prison in a way. And I think he was hoping that his popularity would grow, which it did from this. But it's like, you know, it's like the Rudy Giuliani effect. Like, he's just hoping that, like, Rudy Giuliani before 9/11 was not that popular. But after that, people were just like, oh no, he's America's mayor. And then as enough time went by, people were like, oh yeah, he is kind of shitty, isn't he? Like, I think it's that. I think it was just him hoping to realize that, like, by doing something that they love, you know, killing Palestinians, they won't realize how shitty he is. But this is going to be a rough period. Again, it's a good one, a good cause for celebration that finally something happens, but I feel like we're going to get a return to the norm very soon, unfortunately. Also, I think it's been kind of gross how Biden has been talking about this, because, like, 15 months, nothing happened with his administration. But the second someone from the Trump administration walks in there, they get something done. Again, this isn't going anywhere good with Trump. I'm not trying to give Trump, like, all of his flowers. There's definitely some, unfortunately. Like, reluctantly, we had to give him some, because, like, he did something that Biden couldn't do, because Biden just loves Israel. Biden loves Israel. He was just like, I'm sucking, I'm drooling all over that thing, all right? But now he's trying to, like, take credit for it. So we have this, like, little clip from a press conference that Biden did, where one of the reporters asked him, he's like, who gets the credit for this, you or Trump?
Credit for this, Mr. President, you or Trump?
Is that a joke? Oh, thank you.
He's like, is that a joke? No, it's not. I mean, we all know, like, who played more into a factor of this, because you had 15 months and nothing happened. And they're trying to, like, get some sort of a victory out of this, being like, oh, this is the same ceasefire deal that Biden came up with, you know, months ago, even though it was literally just the Hamas deal that Israel rejected before that. It was literally the deal that Israel refused to go by, that Biden then copied, took as his own, and then tried to say that Hamas was rejecting the deal, even though everyone else was literally saying no, it was Israel. Israel was rejecting the deal. And now they're just being like, yes, our proposal went through, you know, when another guy had to come in to fix our fuck up. And they accepted a deal that we said that another group didn't want to accept, even though they came up with it, really. It is a shit show. It is an embarrassment. Biden obviously is so fixated on his legacy, and he is going out, you know, just face down, ass up, just in a complete embarrassment with a kick me sign on his rear. This is pathetic. This is a pathetic way to go. And same with the TikTok ban too, but that's another story. Just L after L that the Trump administration is just going to take easily because they fumbled it so hard. And I mean, we'll get to the TikTok ban some other time, probably soon. Later this week, I'll have another video on it. But when it comes to Israel, Gaza, I just wanted to say this for now. Again, I want to be hopeful, but like, it's Trump. And he's very pro-Israel too. And I think he's just using this as a sort of way to kind of like lull Palestinians in a false sense of security. Again, this is a guy who used Palestinian as a slur. So like, there's some flowers to give for actually reaching the state, but it's not gonna be, good times all around forever. They're going to more than likely go back to their, disgusting attacks not that long after this, because the ceasefire deal is supposed to take part in 6 weeks. I would honestly be surprised that they even honored that 6 weeks. I give it 3, but that's all I really had to say. So, free Palestine.